Okay, sorry. This is hard. Okay. I'm Davis Peterson.
And I'm Paul Mercer of the Ghosts Project.
And you're watching Spectre Vision.
Yeah.
Boo.
From the crowd. Sufis say there is no music without an audience. You know, there is God can be the audience if you're practicing, but there's no music's communication. It's like speaking to an empty room. So when you connect with the audience and that feedback occurs, you know, that's really the beautiful thing about performance, because it's an interactive process. And when you make the music flexible enough to bend it to the audience and to the situation and to the room, you know, if it's a noisy room, we're going to play louder. If it's quiet, we're going to be delicate. If the people are all riled up, we're going to make them dance. If they're introspective, we might make them dance anyway, or we might just, you know, want to sink into their vibe. Regardless, it's a lot easier than say, and now we're going to play our hit song, and we're going to play it exactly the way we've always played it, except for we didn't expect there not to be anybody in the room yet. Or we decided to open with the slow piece, and it's packed, and everybody's just waiting to bust into boogie. So that adaptation.
They're all like, where's Zulu?
Where's at the end?
Yeah, the end. Yeah. Speaking of which, that was one of my next questions. Is War Zulu is probably one of the best songs ever written in the entire world. It's fantastic, and I have always loved the drums, of course.
Oh, yeah.
But it has a story, maybe? Or it's the name War Zulu is a representation?
Well, Dave, what happened? I don't remember the moment that song was written.
Oh, I do.
Just remember Davis playing something on the drums and a sizzling light bulb going on in my head going, that.
Do it again.
I hate to say it was actually one of my exercises.
Hey.
It's actually a cadence. It's what they call a Swiss triplet, and I was playing it religiously because I was trying to get it down. And then one day we were rehearsing. I was just warming up and doing this thing, going around the drum kit, doing the triplets. And he goes, "Wait a minute!" And he goes over and he just and he goes right into it. It was just
that's one of those things where you talk about, you know, again with our idea of ghosts. This is. My viola's tricky, and sometimes it makes crazy noises. We did on 63006. There's a song where it's all train noises, you know, and so this is the case where I pick up the viola. I don't know what I'm going to play, but what comes out, it sounds like horns, you know,
trumpet call.
Yeah, and so the story that it reminded me of, or the thought that it reminded me of, was this battle I was fascinated about in Africa sometime in the 19th century, and it was called a place called Isandlwana. And there's this big traumatic rock, you know, that looms over this area. And there was a British garrison. I don't know if they were garrison or they were actually on the march, but they were the latest, most up-to-date troops in the British Empire. They were crack soldiers armed with the best weapons, and you know, they had rockets, and they had new repeating cartridge rifles and everything. And a descendant of Shaka Zulu attacked them during a total solar eclipse from 3 directions at once, and it required the men to run for like 6 or 8 hours at full speed to get into position for the eclipse, and they were all hopped up on drugs, and it was a massacre. It was one of the biggest upsets in history, militarily speaking. But the thing that was really creepy about it is the survivors on both sides reported that people were turning into animals during it. The men, you know, the British shell-shocked survivors were like, I'd see a man, and then he was a zebra, and then he was a giraffe, you know, and it was a lion coming out of the darkness for me and stuff. And it's just a really vivid image, you know, this time and place. So that's why we stuck it with the name War Zulu.
It's one of my favorite songs ever.
awesome. Yeah.
Let's see, what else do I have? You all have, like, every time I see you perform or go by your table, you're involved in like 50 things. maybe like 100 things. It seems that way anyway, which is fantastic. I love the wide range of things, like the composing for films. Actually, forgive me, I forget the name. Something Delphine.
Replacing Delphine.
Replacing Delphine will never leave my mind ever. That movie will never leave my mind.
Do you have the movie?
Uh-huh.
Okay. I can give it.
Yeah. Well, I have the DVD. Yes.
Okay.
But yeah. And it was amazing. I loved that. But you all, what are some of the new current things that you're doing? Some of Ghost Projects things, or even past things that like. Tell me the goods. What do you got right now?
Well, we did a tour last year on the West Coast, and this year we're putting the Changelings together, which is another project we're both involved in. It's its own interview subject, but it's a band that's been around since 1995.
I saw. Yes, I was very. I was enthralled. Could not stop listening to the Changelings music.
So we have a new EP for DragonCon with that, and a CD release coming up, and so that's occupied a good portion of this year, getting that baby out the door. And then as soon as we finish the album, which we do the mixing on the final album next week, then it's right into the Ghost Project next album. We've never recorded an album in more than 2 days. We did 6:30:06 in 1 hour. That's a live radio show, just as you heard it. Flaming Golden Boar, we improvised in the studio one night, and we mixed it the next night. And Undergrowth, we did the same way.
I can't. Like, I myself have only had experience doing one song, as far as my personal involvement in writing and lyrics and so on and so forth. But what's funny is we just came out with an EP, and the vocals that were in that song, we recorded in a day. And it's kind of strange to me to see how, like...
You've got to give us the music now.
Well...
Yeah, where's that at?
Yeah, come on.
You get it.
It's on digital download, because everything is in space.
You know, that's
in the future.
That's smart.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
our
well-
next plan.
Well, and that's the other thing I like about your band, though, is like I'm really kind of, and everyone gets mad at me for saying I'm old, but I'm kind of a fuddy-duddy when it comes to digital downloads, because I love the artwork
Right.
on your albums, and I
Oh,
love
thank you.
everything about your band that I can tell is very. I wouldn't say necessarily symbolic, but it seems to have a lot of purpose and meaning. Like Flaming Golden Boar, the cover for that.
And we think about that a lot.
Yeah.
And
That's my favorite covers ever.
Yeah.
I really liked it, but it's actually I was listening to that on the way down here. And
That song has a story too.
yes, please.
But one more story.
Well, and that's one of the things I've always liked about the band is I'm one of those people. Everything happens for a reason, and I'm very much. I kind of get foo-fooed by my sister and some other people sometimes because I'm like, this song that I just wrote means all of these feelings and statements and so
sometimes
forth.
It's a little creepy when you want to share that, and sometimes you think you should just keep it to yourself, especially when it's a bunch of internal references.
Yes, exactly.
But Flaming Golden Boar was a big year for us because 2007 was an important year in the Chinese zodiac, and I was in Japan at the turn of the year playing a show in Tokyo, and it was a watershed moment for me where I was like, well, it really wasn't any harder to get booked in Tokyo than it was in Atlanta. I didn't know people knew who I was there, and so I was like, kind of made a resolution to get out, to get out of my hometown, and to put together all of these new things. And that's when Davis and I were just hitting our stride as songwriters, and this song, really the genesis was that this moment, and because 2007 was not just the year of the boar, it was the year of the fire boar, which occurs every 12 years or something, and the year of the golden boar, which occurs every the boar occurs every 12 years, the fire boar occurs every 60 years, and then the golden boar is something that happens every 600 and something years, and all the astrologers were arguing about it, but it was such an auspicious time to be born that everybody in Asia was trying to get knocked up, so they'd have a golden fire pig baby, so because they'd be a future world leader or something. So it's really about this like auspicious time. But Oh, we're really excited about the new album coming out because we've grown
Me
lots.
too.
Right.
And I'm partners in a recording studio now, so we have the option now to finally bring the recorded vision that we've wanted to do, which is going to be probably different than what we do live in certain respects, because we will be able to, craft the songs, do the layering and so forth that we want. On some of the film scores that I've done in the past couple of years, Davis has come in and played percussion, and in one in particular, just layering him again and again and again and again, and then building up this big beautiful symphony of drums. It's like, once again, the light bulb goes off in my head. It's like, we have to have the time and place to do this right, because this is our statement that we want to make, as far as where we are now.
I'm excited. So whenever, for current albums, for the people who couldn't come to the awesomeness that is DragonCon, I feel sad for them. Where can people go to get your music?
The Marriott Marquis exhibit level around the
people
back.
that aren't here.
They aren't here. We're on iTunes. We're on iTunes.
It's like, I've got a
the people who
guitar
are here,
kit.
I was like, don't tell me this isn't being broadcast on DragonCon.
This is
TV or
live.
something.
It's like,
Yeah.
I was assuming you were going
It's
to
like,
edit out me eating my earwax.
exactly. No,
I
okay.
forgot to tell you guys. No.
Okay, we are available on iTunes, Amazon, and CD Baby.
CD Baby.
Oh,
Oh,
CD
wow.
Baby, that's classic.
Oh yeah. Okay. Do we have a release for the new album?
Not yet.
Not till
In
it's
sometime in the future.
We are hoping for
In the near
a summertime,
Yeah.
and then tour in the fall. Do a little
Yeah.
bit of that. Do a little.
Either release the album in spring, tour in summer, release in summer, tour in fall.
Awesome.
So,
Well, you need to swing by.
We
Oh,
will.
we will.
We will. Oh no, you will be sick of us, and we'll be
Oh,
sick of
please.
ourselves.
It'll never happen.
But I think this next year is going to be the year of just really pushing it.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for sitting down with me.
thank you, Susie, and thank you for dancing with us.
Yes, it was fantastic. You got footage of that, right?
Yes, I did. It
Good.
was so much fun.
Good.
I had
Awesome.
a great time.